So I've been thinking and stinking and working 8 hours today. Just moving my mic a little closer. I forgot to do that earlier. Okay, got the right mic selected. I want to start doing video birthday wishes on Facebook. I do this every night. I wish people happy birthday on Facebook every day. So I thought, everybody's always like, HBD, happy birthday, hope you have a great day. My typical one, or variation of it, is happy day, old chum. Happy day, old fella. Hope you have a wonderful one. Hope it's filled with adventure and excitement. I like to take genres of books and just throw them at people, two at a time usually. Happy birthday. I hope your day is filled with horror and suspense. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Anywho, I thought that would be kind of a neat idea. Like, and it might be a way to, I mean, I don't want to make it, like, about me. It's their birthday. But I thought, you know, it might be a good way to introduce people to this, too. I was talking to my friend Xander today at work. I had to work 8 hours today. I don't know what they're thinking. How do they expect people to work that long? That's crazy. And he was trying to give me some ideas and reshift focus. He's such an inspirational guy. Like, he's the kind of, like, go out there and get it type of person. And he kind of, like, wears, you know, he rubs off on you like that. In a way that's positive, and it's really cool. He's a great guy. And he was talking about different things, and one of them was, we were watching, I don't know if you've ever seen that, there's a YouTube video. Somebody took an old biblical movie about Christ and him talking to his disciples. Well, I only saw a little section of it, and overdubbed their own voice on it, and it was hilarious. But he's like, you should do some Jesus videos. Like, let your hair down, put on some Jesus stuff. And I thought, you know, I'm not really into doing the whole skit comedy thing, but it could work. And another thought came to mind, too, when we were talking about it, about having people on the show. And I'd like to get him on here, too, to talk about stuff. So I'm throwing out that invitation there, Mr. Xander McPherson. But my idea was to take people on the show and fabricate stories, or tell them in such a way that they're just ridiculous. Like, I don't have a good example to tell you now. I'll have to do one of these wacky videos, and then you'll get what I'm talking about, I think. I'm gonna try to get a few more people on here soon too, because those videos were really good, I thought. I don't know if you agree, disagree. I know they're a lot longer that way, and I can break them up if you guys think that would be a better idea. But I gotta change up the style of these things, because just talking about my day every day, like, some days I have stuff I want to talk about, some days I don't. You know, it's like, there's no sense in sitting here for anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes just rambling, kind of like I'm doing now. But I feel like this is informative, and I feel like we're all enjoying it. You know, the people who are watching them, and me who's making them. So I've been coming down myself hard about doing these videos lately, and just like being like, what am I doing? You know, I love the road to 40. I love the idea of the road to 40. And so I need some inspiration. I need you guys to reach out to me and give me some ideas, some topics to talk about. Is there something I'm not talking about that I could be talking about that would be entertaining? I think there is. Do I know what it is? No, or I'd be talking about it. I feel like this needs to be a little bit more interactive so that we can, you know, I don't want to say stretch it out, but like keep the road going, you know? I just don't ever want to get to the point where I'm sitting here just, hi, I went to work and I had a bologna sandwich today. I used to love bologna when I was a kid. I can't stomach it now. I mean, it's not horrible. The smell of fried bologna is pretty tempting, but I just have no desire to go after bologna. It's bologna. Like, it's kind of like hot dogs. It's like the sliced meat version of hot dogs. It's like if you were to squish out a hot dog into a circle and cut it thin, there you go, you got bologna. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. I don't know much these days. But these birthday greetings, I think they're kind of a neat idea. What do you think? I don't know. Maybe not for everybody, because, I mean, some people, I'm trying to get to the point where I'm not just wishing people who are my friends on Facebook happy birthday just because they're my friends and it's their birthday. Like, sometimes, like, I was friends with people a long time ago, and, like, when Facebook just started to get big, I was like, oh, hey, I haven't seen them in years, I'll friend them. now 10 years later, so I'm like, we haven't shared anything on each other's page. We haven't said more than 2 words to each other. It's usually a birthday greeting. So I'm trying not to, like, I'm not going to unfriend these people because I consider them friends still, but we just don't have much more in common anymore. It's just like, I live, 12 hours away from where I once lived, and I only stay in contact, direct contact with the people who I feel I'm very close with. And a lot of those people, don't even live where I used to live anymore. They're gone from there. It's funny how life moves on. I've been looking at a lot of tiny houses and stuff. And I know I mentioned it in another video, but I'm really starting to consider, like, I saw this yurt. It was a 16-foot yurt. Now, mind you, I know it probably doesn't have power, doesn't have water, but it sits on property in Hawaii, and it was for sale for $5,000. And I'm thinking, okay, there's obviously a hook to this. Obviously, it's not the best part of Hawaii. It's not one of the nicer islands, whatever. But I thought about it, like, $5,000 is a lot of money. But if you owned a piece of land on an island in Hawaii, like, how awesome would that be? Like, fly out there, go camping, just the hardest thing, I guess, would be is like supplying, your food and surviving while you're there. But beyond that, like, why not? I'd love to own, like, an acre or two in several locations. Don't spend a ton of money. Find nice, decent places. Grab a piece of land. Maybe you build here. Maybe you sell it. Maybe you build here. Maybe you sell it. You know what I mean? Like, why not? Like, why tie yourself down? Like, I'd love to get some kind of mobile. I don't know if you've ever seen these teardrop, like, camper things. They're usually about 30 to 40 square feet, and it's usually a bed, and there's a lot of pop-out things from it. There's an Australian company that makes them that are unfrickin' believable. Like, you've got a full-size bed with a little bit of a loft with another, like, twin-size bed up there. Usually they have a TV and all that. I wouldn't really even care about all that, but, like, having that opens up the world to you, or at least, the drivable surroundings. Like, if you want to drive to California and you don't want to stay in a hotel every night, you could go with this thing. Obviously, you're probably going to want to stay in a campground so you can take a shower and stuff like that, and maybe hook into their, electric or water or something like that. But, like, I think I really want to get some kind of camper, like some simple, not oversized, basic camper that I can attach to a car and just drive. Like, and pay $35 a night to stay in a campground. Why not? Why not? How about that, huh? What do you think of that? I think it's a good idea. Getting out there, seeing the country. I've always wanted to travel. I mean, travel's been in my heart and soul. Speaking of travel, I talked to Xander a little bit about my episode 100. As I've told you, I was going to say, if I had 100 followers by then and enough people, because I don't want to rely on the people who are always giving me feedback, who are always liking the videos, who are always doing their best to help me out in this whole scenario. Like, I feel bad and I don't want to ask anything of anybody who's done stuff for me. I just don't feel comfortable doing it. But I want to take a road trip to California, and I want to video record it, and I want it to be part of this. And I was thinking about maybe doing it right at the end. It wouldn't end in California, but the road to 40 would be the road to California. Go out there, attack IGN, and be like, hey, listen, I think we need to spend some time together. Give me a job. Let's see what happens. I don't know. Is it crazy? Probably. Driving 3 days, But how fun would it be to record all that? To, like, capture all those moments, and then at the end, come back here, the, end of the road party, and just have a great time. I think it'd be cool. So I wanted to do a Kickstarter fund to do a documentary about it. And I'm probably still going to do it. But hopefully maybe by episode 200 we'll have enough of a backing. Or I just don't want to ask people who aren't interested in this either to fund something that means nothing to them. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of pointless. So, but that's my plan. I definitely want to do some road shows. And the major one that I've had in mind for a while is a documentary driving to California. I would love to take it through New Orleans, but that's more money and more time. Like, that would mean You know, traveling a day to New Orleans, spending a day in New Orleans, traveling to Texas, spending a day in Texas, driving to San Diego, spending a day in San Diego. You know, you're already talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably 7, 8, 9, maybe like 9 days just to get there. Now back would be right about 3 days. So about 12 days. That's almost 2 weeks I'd have to be able to fund. And I don't have those kind of funds to do that. So I have to realistically think how much it's going to cost me to do something like this, then decide if I want to do a Kickstarter or not. And I know that there's independent people who will contribute money to Kickstarter funds, but the thing is like, and I don't mean this to downplay myself, but I'm nothing and nobody, like in the grand scheme of things. I guess we all are kind of nobody and nothing. I don't mean that, like I don't mean to offend anybody, but us as individuals are such like a little speck in time, a speck in like a moment in life. And like I'm going a little too deep with it. My point is, if I throw something on Kickstarter, even if the quality of the video is great and the rewards are great and stuff like that, what the hell is going to cause somebody who doesn't know me to contribute to something like that? Honestly, like, I know it works because I've seen, you know, people get funded stupid amounts of money. Unfortunately, the people who are getting a lot of money, like, are already established. You know what I mean? Like, I think about this Reading Rainbow thing, and I loved Reading Rainbow. I just downloaded every season of Reading Rainbow. I loved Reading Rainbow. I want the kids to watch Reading Rainbow. But, like, LeVar Burton, I'm not saying he's destitute, but I'm not saying that he's a super billionaire, but he's certainly not destitute. He's not, if he wanted to fund that himself, that's all, they earned what, 2, maybe 3 million? Maybe in the end you're going to see about 4 or 5 million. I'm not saying he's a super actor, super huge actor or anything like that, but I find it hard to believe that someone who's gone through the life that he has doesn't have enough money that if he really wanted to put that out there, couldn't do it himself. Now, I think it's a beautiful thing that people contributed, and Seth MacFarlane, he's matching dollar for dollar up to the next million to help get this thing going, and it's great. But I'm like, I need a Seth MacFarlane to go dollar for dollar, and, you know, I'm not saying I could ever make $1 million off of a Kickstarter fund, but, I mean, if you really think about doing something like that, think about traveling. I think about a family vacation. Last time we went to Disney, it was about, I mean, it's such a shit ton of money. It was like $4,000 for 3 of us to go to Disney and stay in the park for a week. Obviously, that's a little bit, the price in that is tickets, you know, park hopper passes, flight, hotel, so on and so forth. I understand $4,000 is rational. It's a little crazy if you ask me, but I understand it. But if I were to drive from here to California, here to New Orleans to probably like Austin to San Diego to San Francisco, and then back, I'd like to stop in Colorado and then come home. Like, that would be the trip. If I could do that in 2 weeks, you figure, I mean, I could eat real cheap. But gas, I mean, per day, you're looking probably about $60 a day for gas, at least. So that, right there, you're already looking at $840, roughly, dollars. Is that right? 6 times 14. 60, 6 times 4, 24, 14, 6, 14. Yeah, I think that it's right around there, $840. Like I said, $840 just for gas. Then food. Let's say I could starve myself and eat off of like $15 a day. Like $5 meals 3 times a day. That's still, you know, 15 times 14. I'm not going to do that math in my head. 15 times 10 is 150, and then 4 more days at 15, that's 30, 60. So you're looking at $210 for that. So you've already got 840 and 210. So that's 1,050. That's 1,050. That's no hotels. That's nothing else. You figure there's going to be at least, let's say 7 nights in a hotel. Let's say there's some nights you stay in your car. Even if you get $50 hotels, that's 350. So you're already at, you know, I mean, let's face it. The trip like that's going to cost about $3,000 to $4,000 to do it comfortably. To do it real thin, maybe 25 to 3,500. Who the hell is going to contribute money to something like that? I don't want to ask people. And see, Kickstarter, I don't mind doing an advertising on Facebook. I wouldn't want to do it on here, though, because I feel like the few people, Pete, Sean, I'm sure Corey's watching this, Greg's watching every now and again, Kyle, there's let's say there's 10 people, if I'm lucky, that watch this every now and again, 2 every night. Chris, Nick, all of those. I can't ask those people. I don't feel comfortable. And I want to say that right now to whoever's watching. Like, when I and if I ever kick off that Kickstarter fund, I don't expect anything. I love doing this, and the most important thing is that you guys watch this. Like, I know there's not 100 of you watching this. I don't care. But I want to do this trip. This is something I feel like if I can do it, it'll prompt me to get off my ass and do what I got to do. The great Corey Smith told me that once, and he was right. Life is too short. If you want something, you got to go out and do it. Don't make excuses. Stop making excuses. I guess I'm talking to myself now, but I mean this advice I think goes out to a lot of people. Like, we're so quick to put hurdles in our way just so that we can be like, okay, I can't do that because I'd have to do this. You gotta break down those barriers, man, because you'll be 60 years old, 70 years old, 80 years old going, shit, I wish I had taken that trip. I wish I had tried. I wish I had done something to do what I wanted to do then. Maybe my life would have been completely different if that one moment in my mind I hadn't said, it's impossible, don't do it. It's too much work, too much effort. No one's going to support you. It's not going to happen. Those are those moments that you will live to regret, I believe. And so I guess, with everything I said tonight, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go out and do it. I'm going to wait a little while, though. Like I said, we're at episode 108 tonight, I believe. We are almost a third of the way through the Road to 40. Like I said, I'm going to continue these after the Road to 40. They will be spaced out a little bit more. Maybe I'll do 1 a week, 3 a week. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to encompass. There are probably going to be some more vodka reviews, I'm thinking, but... Mike Gallagher, I believe his name is. I was on the way home from work tonight. This is the last thing, and then I'll let you guys go. Well, I guess you can leave at any time. I'm not just keeping you. This is really dark back here, isn't it? I need to do something to lighten this up a little bit. Maybe I got to take these filters off or something. I don't know. He was talking about how the worst thing that has happened is the legalization of marijuana in Colorado and in Washington. And he's stating all these reasons why. And I am just fuming as I'm listening to it, going, this guy, these are the lies that have kept people oppressed from this for so many years. Like, here's a substance that I truly believe is in some ways a miracle drug. All right, he talked about he takes Ambien every night. And he said he's reliant on it. And he says, I'm not judging you for wanting to... I respected him for saying that, for being a smoker or whatever. But he said, I take Ambien every night. And the first thing that goes in my head is, what are the ingredients in Ambien, or the generic that he takes? Let's take a look. What are the side effects of that? What negative things happen by taking that long term? You can't drive behind the wheel of a car if you're taking Ambien. You will fall asleep, crash, and kill somebody probably. Look at the flip side of that. Something that grows naturally in the wild and has this effect on people has never killed anyone. Now, he's talking about all these positive results of car accidents caused by the use of someone under the influence of it. I guarantee you he didn't cross-reference, or he didn't mention that in cross-referencing, that half of those people probably also had alcohol in their system or something else in their system. Folks, there's nothing wrong with this natural plant that grows in the wild. It is, I believe, a miracle cure that if we were to strip back all the bullshit, all the lies, all the stuff that all these major pharmaceutical companies are doing to stop it, you would see at the heart of it, it is a harmless plant that saves lives. I really feel that way. I can't prove that it saves lives. Now, it's been legal in other countries, and they haven't done, I guess, testing, or they haven't used it in the way that could be proven that it can do positive things. Otherwise, I think we would see long before now the world going, whoa, whoa, whoa. Either that or it has been and we just don't know about it. I mean, I don't know. With the mass communication today, though, I can't imagine that we wouldn't have heard something from another country. Nonetheless, he's sitting here just bad-mouthing about how bad it is, how terrible it is, how it's the worst thing for this country. And I started looking at the positive in the revenue it's creating. Now, he said, if you disagree with me, you are a smoker. That is bullshit. If you agree with me, you're a non-smoker. That's bullshit. And I'll tell you why. I wish I could have called in and talked, but he never provided a phone number. If you disagree, there's a good chance you disagree because you don't want the government's hands all over this thing that's been growing naturally in the wild for millions of years, hundreds of thousands of years, whatever. You know, there's reasons why people wouldn't want it legalized who enjoy it and take part in it. There's reasons why people would want it legalized who don't touch it because they want to make money. So to say that if you disagree with me, you're a smoker, if you agree with me, you're a non-smoker, is such a black and white thing that's wrong. It's completely wrong. But this is the problem with the people who listen to these radio stations. They don't take the time to research things. Like, I am obviously pro-marijuana. I am very pro. I think it should be legalized. I think all drugs should be legalized. I think you should be able to do with your body what you want. If you're not harming another, do what thou will should be the law, whole of the law, till you violate the rights of another. Aleister Crowley, I believe, was the man who said that, which I don't necessarily agree with a lot of things he said, but doesn't it make sense? 311 went on to use that in a lyric, and they said, do what thou will should be the whole of the law till you violate the rights of another. Respect the space of your sister and your brother. Somebody's coming in the office right now. And into the bathroom. Anywho, I guess I'll let you go. I'm just saying as I get a little frustrated at that. I hope you guys like this episode. I know it's a lot of ranting and raving and just random stuff off the top of my head. But thank you guys for always coming back. You guys make my day. Every time I see that view count go out, every time I see subscription rise a number, you know, so thank you so much. Go out tomorrow. Don't forget to make somebody smile throughout your day. Make yourself a better person than you were today. No matter how you do it, there's a million ways you can improve your intellect, your skills, your talents, your emotions. Make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were today, and let's make the world spin a little happier together. I'm Jason Oliveira. This is The Road to 40, and I will see you tomorrow night on episode 109. I don't know. I've lost count. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great night.